What's going on, everybody? I know I say this at the beginning of like every one of my videos, and I really do mean it when I say it, but I need to apologize for not having put any more content out. I haven't done anything since my match with Morozov, and tonight I'm down here in my gun room. I'm gonna do some cleaning on my well, it was my father's old rifle, 30-06. Now my brother's. We just put a new Athlon scope on it, and I'm just doing some bore cleaning on it because my father never used this rifle. He hunted in the deep timber in Wyoming and always used a 30-30 open sight gun. So he never really shot this 30-06, and I'll bet it's got 40, 50 years of copper buildup in there and whatnot. So I've been doing some bore cleaning the last few nights, and it takes time. You gotta spray stuff in there, let it sit, come in and clean it, and then go through the whole process again. But anyways, I thought while I was doing that, I'd maybe chat with you a little bit about me and where I'm at and what's going on with arm wrestling. And I don't know, maybe I can do two things at once while I'm doing this. But I'm kind of, bear with me, I'll be looking over here a lot while I'm talking and kind of doing this. But first thing I want to talk about was the match with Artem Morozov. It was not my proudest moment, let's say that. And it was hard for me to swallow. I'm not a fan of taking losses. Matter of fact, I don't like it at all. And that was the first time I had been pinned since I want to say early 2018 or late 2017. I had not been pinned left-handed in that amount of time, and I'm not one to brag about that kind of stuff, so I never brought it up very much. But I hate it. I actually hate losing really bad. And I had lost other matches, like on fouls. I lost to Ryan Espy in the World Championship in 2018. I fouled out against him 2 matches in a row. Ironically, I was able to go to the finals in that tournament undefeated because Ryan fouled out against me to go to the finals. So he had to come back up, and then he beat me twice on fouls, on my fouls. It was me being stupid. But I don't know that day if I had enough to beat him anyway. He was phenomenal. He is phenomenal. But like I said, those are the last losses I've had left-handed until Artem, and that was not easy for me to deal with. Anyway, I didn't do well with that. I guess you could say I'm a sore loser. I don't like losing at all. It's something that I take very, very difficultly. So it's been hard for me to be motivated to create content knowing that I have to talk about losses, because I don't like them at all. Anyway, first match in that event against Artem, I felt pretty good. He's strong. His wrist and hand were strong. On the first ready go, when we slipped, I could tell how strong his wrist and hand was. It was very intimidating, actually, how strong it was. This is tight. These patches are a little bit thicker, and they take a little bit to get down that barrel. My goodness gracious. Yeah. Maybe we'll get it down there. just really slowly. Heavens. That's hurting my hand too. Some kind of cupcake. Anyway, I felt pretty good in that match. Until I didn't anymore. When we got the strap on, I felt like I had a chance. I really did. He surged to the side, and I could feel his wrist. I could see his wrist start to buckle. And he surged a second time, did the same thing. But then he readjusted and came up on top of my hand and just sucked me down. He out-arm wrestled me for sure in that match. I did not suspect or think that that was going to happen, but it did. And the rest is old news. So, just one second. Let me put you on pause for a second here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get this rod back out and get it going again. Anyway, in the second match, I knew I had to slip because I didn't think I could stay with his hand outside of the strap. I feel like I'm a little bit better in the strap than I am outside of it. And he was able to get me down before I could slip. And I think, to be honest, he was in my head. Quite a bit, actually, I think he was in my head. Third match happened almost exactly the same. Wasn't able to slip. He was able to take me down pretty quickly. He's a good kid. I actually like him quite a bit. And I think he's got extreme amount of potential in our sport. I believe he's the future of our sport. Hell, I think he's 24, 25 years old now. He's just ridiculous. When we arm wrestled, he was literally half my age. I've been arm wrestling longer than he's been alive. So, tells you how young he is. And I do think he's the one that's probably going to be able to beat Levon. I just think he's got that much potential. Not only is he super strong, but as you can tell, he's had some pretty grueling matches that shows his endurance, which I was impressed with. Ton of endurance. He was obviously outside of my level. He's better than I am. And that was very noticeable. Quite a bit better, as a matter of fact. Which is also discouraging, knowing that no matter how hard I train or how fast I progress, he's probably going to progress faster just because he's that much younger than I am. So, kind of got to live with the idea that I might not be able to catch him. With that being said, I wouldn't mind trying again someday, maybe in the near future. I would hope that maybe Ingen will bring me back to East versus West. West. I'm sure it won't be to pull Artem right off the bat. Maybe someone else. Give me another chance to redeem myself. So hopefully that happens in the future. Now, the one thing we want to talk about, or I want to talk about, I'm sure that a lot of you are wanting to hear about, is my match this weekend with Corey West. Corey and I have become really pretty good friends. We've known each other now for, maybe 3 years. The first time I met him, we had a super match, he and I, in Kansas City. He was huge then. He's always been huge. and very intimidating. The match went my way. I feel like I was a little bit better with the speed. Matter of fact, I've always known that he's probably a stronger human than I am. So I had to beat him in other ways. And we've arm wrestled 2 times prior to this match. And I've been lucky enough to come on top both of those times. With that being said, he's different now than he was then. After he had his bicep injury in December of 2020, where we blew his bicep off, he had to have that reattached. He hasn't lost. He's a completely different human being since that time. And he looks very impressive. He's got wins on Ryan Espy. I've never beaten Ryan Espy. I've never pinned Ryan Espy in a match. And I'm not even 100% sure I could beat Ryan Espy. But Corey was able to do that. He did it really quite convincingly, actually. I knew Corey had a shot, but I didn't think that Corey would do it that effectively. He was very impressive that day. Beat Ryan 3-0. So this weekend at Monster Factory, we get a grip up again, and need to say I'm very anxious about it. I've held on to the number 1 spot in North America for a few years now, and I've never been much for rankings. I don't necessarily care for them, but it sure is nice to kind of have that idea in the back of your head that you're one of the best around. And I've worked hard. I've trained hard for a lot of years to be able to do that. But Corey he's that guy. He's pretty incredible. I know he's got some strategies coming into this match. I've got some strategies. Mine obviously is to hit my goes, get there as quick as I can, keep his wrist straight, not allow him to cup, maybe get on top of his hand, and I feel like I have a chance. But if he gets any type of a cup, then I think I'm in a world of hurt. If he's able to get some flexion in his wrist, it's going to be a whole different match. So hopefully I'm able to stop that. Regardless, Corey and I are still going to be good friends. I care for the guy a lot. He's an amazing human being. I like him a lot. And I will not be mad at him one bit if he does win. I might be a little upset with myself, but he's younger than I am by quite a bit, and he's going to continually progress where I don't think I will progress as rapidly as he does. So I know that my time on the top is limited, and it could be coming to an end, but hopefully not this weekend. I wanted to say thank you to all of you all who have supported me so much over the last few years. You've been amazing and a great support system for me, and I truly appreciate that. It's always nice to know that you've got the support of family and friends and the community of the sport that you participate in. Got some, it's called Wipeout Bore Cleaner. It always makes a little bit of a mess when you spray it in there. Comes all the way down the bore, and then it just kind of sits in there and eats away at all the carbon and the copper fouling and buildup inside the barrel and inside the bore and chamber in here. And I kind of don't like it clear down here in the magazine well, because then it kind of gums up your bullets a little bit. So I try to get that all cleaned out and put some paper towels up in here that kind of absorb that up a little bit and clean that out in there. It's one of the hardest places to keep clean, right there in that action. Anyway, so now I just gotta let that sit for a little bit while it dries and cleans and whatnot. Actually, supposed to let it sit for an hour, but I've been letting it sit for about 24 hours to get more buildup and guck out of it. So, the lighting down here is not awesome. I apologize about that. Anyway, I want to thank all the people that have supported me over the last few years and motivated and helped me stay focused and moving forward. I've got some amazing people in my life. My wife, incredible person. She puts up with so much. She always supports me. She's an amazing person. I lucked out when I found her, that's for sure. The rest of my family, my daughter, she's always been a great support, and she's a humbling person. She gives me a hard time when I don't do well, but it's fun. Then I've got Bob Brown, who is my coach. Pretty much has taught me more about arm wrestling than anybody else. He's been in my arm wrestling life since day one, basically. And what technique and knowledge I've learned from arm wrestling, I would say a large majority of that came from Bob Brown. So thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Some other people that are always there to help me train, Team Spur. I've got a good bunch of people that come over and work hard every week to better themselves and to help me get better. Got a new young up-and-comer, Jack Crucy. The kid is crazy. He's also got a super match this weekend at Washington State against another teenage kid who is also an up-and-comer. I want to say his name is, oh crap, now I feel bad. I apologize, kid. Dalton is his name, I think. He's a year and a half or so younger than Jack. Super strong. I really believe that Jack will win this match. Nothing to be held, nothing negative about the young man that he's arm wrestling. I've just felt Jack's hand and wrist, and I've felt a lot of people's hands and wrists, and it would take one hell of a strong 16-year-old kid to be able to take that hand and wrist. It's very impressive. And maybe this kid from Washington is that kid. I hope not, because Jack's my boy, and I'm super proud of the accomplishments he's made. He's done very well. The rest of Team Spur that shows up every week to help me out, they're amazing. Thank you guys all. I love you so much. And then especially Jordan Sill, he'll come on a whim to come and help me get better. He's also got a super match at Washington State this weekend. He and I have been training the last month and a half, 2 months to get ready for these super matches. And Jordan is a freak. He knows how to put me in positions that compromise me. He's super strong, and he's got a ton of endurance. So he knows how to push me. Thank you very much, Jordan. I appreciate you. And I want to thank Michael Todd and Rebecca, Mr. and Mrs. Monster, for having me out to this event. You guys are awesome. You're doing an amazing job with the Monster Factory events. I think they're great. I'm excited to be a part of one, and hopefully I'll be able to come back and be a part of others. Thank you for having me out. Thank you for the opportunity. Hopefully I don't disappoint. Anyway, guys, I am very appreciative of all you've done, and I want to try and keep these videos coming. As you can tell, I've got a few passions in my life. Arm wrestling, number one, is the biggest thing I've got going for me, and I absolutely love it. But after the match with Morozov, it was hunting season, and As you can tell, I'm kind of a gun guy. I love long range shooting and I love hunting, and so I've been busy pretty much mid-September, beginning of September, getting rifles ready for friends and family and my own, and then hunting through the whole month of October. And then November, we had a tournament, the Brazing Cup in Salt Lake, and then holidays, it's just been hard to, plus the lack of motivation to put one of these videos out. But hopefully I can get better at this and continue to put some content out there for you guys. But thanks again. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, ask me. I'd be more than happy. I try to read all those and I try to respond to all of them. Any questions, comments, they're all appreciated. Even if they're negative ones, let me hear them, let me learn. Help me better myself as an arm wrestler and as a human being. And again, like always, peeps, attack life's opportunities like I do a meal. Don't miss out on them. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful evening.